Hello again, everybody. This is Dr. Kendo, and we have an action-packed day today, I guess, with these creations. Welcome to the Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor Commentaries. Gonna be creating the FNaF 6 Rockstar Animatronics and Lefty as well. Of course, by FNaF 6, we're talking Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Of course, people are calling it FNaF 6 and all that. That's why I said that we had an action-packed creation day here for this episode. MECHA was the source object that we started off with here in Scribblenauts Unlimited. If you are looking for this object editor feature, it's only on the Wii U and PC versions of this game. We got a manta ray coming up next. We're going to take the fin part of the manta ray down here for the lower torso midsection area, and of course the Fez is the main body right now. We're going to be starting off with the Rockstar Freddy, and so we got a golem, the thigh piece, actually for Freddy's thighs, so thigh for a thigh, and it's the back thigh piece of the golem. So now we're going to go with a pool girl, so hopefully you guys see that typing in right here. We're taking the back arm of that pool girl. I use this basically anytime that I need that almost oval shape, but kind of a thin, just line, I guess, shape. Not like a jellyfish tentacle or anything if you've seen this series before. Not that thin. But anyway, we went with the troglodyte back arm right here, the male troglodyte, and you take that back arm and that'll be on the lower foot section, like the lower leg, I guess I should say, where the feet are and everything. And for the feet, we can actually use a bear, the hind legs, so the ones in the back, and it's the behind leg, like the thigh piece that's in the back. So it's like, if you imagine the upper leg of the bear and the back two legs, it's the one that we can hardly see. So then ghoul, of course, the fish ghoul, because you can see that, of course, you can also choose a monster ghoul, but we're going with the fish, and that's the little fin of that ghoul. Sometimes we've used it for a hand, we've used it for a lot of things. It's a pretty interesting looking stamp. We can put it behind that foot bear piece that we used earlier, and this ghoul fin can be the toes. We got a clown nose after we did that golem thigh piece for the bicep and shoulder parts, and the troglodyte arm, again, is actually now for the lower part of the arm, kind of where the forearm and the wrist is basically, and the clown nose is going to be the hand of Rockstar Freddy here that's going to be holding on to the microphone. And so we went with just a hand for the hand. We almost never do this. I mean, most of the time I try to get stamps that are really unconventional. Like, who would think a clown nose for the hands? You know what I mean? Or like a piece of a bear for feet. You know, we try to do that most of the time. But occasionally, you know, we might pick a nose for a nose, or teeth for teeth, hand for a hand, something like that. We went with a mic for the mic. Now, that's kind of just to get one stamp. We are probably going to run out of stamp space. This is another stamp right here. This mola body is going to be for that lighter tan, I guess, cream section right there on Freddy's body, basically his belly. A star, you can also use a starfish, so I will show you what both of those look like in today's creations. We're actually going to do a lot of variation between all of these, even though they look very similar, just with different colors, I guess, if that makes sense. So I will be showing you guys some techniques there. A bow tie for the bow tie, and a vegetarian is what we typed in right now. The female vegetarian, that's going to be the stamp limit. You heard me mention it before. Basically, there is a limit to how many of these pieces you can put on to create your object. Yeah, it's called Scribblenauts Unlimited, but they put a limit in the game. Crazy, I know. So, Rockstar Freddy is done after we named it. That's just the body right now. We are going to create the head separately. Normally right here at the properties editor, where you can do health and all this other sort of just kind of unseen, typically parts of your creation, all the scripts and everything. Well, this is usually where I read background information and fun facts, but we don't have all that much time for background information and fun facts today, so I'll just reiterate basically who is going to be created in this episode, and this principle applies to all episodes in this series for the most part. Whatever you see in the title, description, and here in the commentary, that's who or what we're creating. So for today, of course, as I mentioned, it's the Rockstar Animatronics, and Lefty is included in that, so Rockstar Freddy, FOXY, CHICA, and Bonnie from FNaF 6 or Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, along with Lefty. Good stuff, and I hope you guys are enjoying seeing this episode. So we got a head as the source object. As I said, we need to create the head separately from the body, and we will attach the two. I'll show you how to do that if you've never seen it before. We'll see that in a little while. So we got a rabbit's body after we put down 2 dots for the cheeks, and another vegetarian back arm was basically for that snout area where his nose is going to go, as well as the little freckle whisker holes, I guess. And so then we've got a golem's shoulder piece right here, painted all the way black to go above that vegetarian an arm. Notice that rabbit body, it was the lower jaw piece, but it was also the black of the mouth, so we used it twice. So that's why if you see one that's kind of the brownish color of the Freddy fur or whatever, then there's the black one for the mouth. I guess the inside of the mouth. And so we went with a golf ball twice. So the golf ball was not only the white of the eyes, but also the iris, the colored part. And then a P, of course that's spelled P-E-A. I'm not talking about urine, but all right. So that was the pupil of the eyes. And so we got freckles coming up here. So freckles, it's sometimes you may not be able to paint it. You know, I wanted to paint them all black. So that's why I just increased the size of them a little bit and then shrunk them back down. A whale shark we can type in now and grab that little bottom fin. It's basically kind of in the middle of the whale shark, but on the bottom side, on the underside. And that's a good stamp for the eyebrows. His eyebrows are a little bit thick. So you can probably go with a number of the pool balls, basically, you know, like billiards pool. Most of these can work for the ear, so really whatever you type in, 3-ball, 2-ball, 5-ball, 4-ball, any of those should work, except for, I don't know if the 8-ball, I don't remember what happens when you color that, so that one may be the exclusion to this rule, but basically type one of the balls. I think I did a 3-ball right there if I remember. I already forgot, but yes. We had a pool girl's back arm. Once again, we're going to be creating the little top hat with 2 separate stamps. So, of course, the pool girl was to start that off for the rim and everything at the bottom. And then the whole main part of the hat up on top was a marshmallow. We got grills, G-R-I-L-L-Z. And for that, that's can make some good teeth right here. You actually see that we reached the stamp limit again now for the head. So with that last piece of grills, we have 2 grills for the layer on the bottom. And then that top layer of teeth is just 1 grills stamp. So Rockstar Freddy head is what we will call this. It looks good except for his eyes look super wide open. It's just we didn't have enough stamps to kind of get everything that I wanted, you know, but still that's a good design. Now to connect them in the properties editor, just go down to the equipment tab and near the bottom it says can be worn on the face like glasses. You want to check off that circle, basically fill that in. It's the second from the bottom. And so here you can see Rockstar Freddy is on the map with our actually fun time Chica creation from a recent episode. I hope you guys got to see that. Links to more FNaF creations and whatnot will be in the description of this video. So notice, of course, the head was way down low. It was like his shoulders were way shrugged, too high. The head was too low. To fix that, we actually just go ahead and edit the body or torso object again. Turn on the green grids by pressing a button over there on the left side that has Maxwell's head and a banana and a wheel with dotted lines all around that. There's a head grid. It's kind of a blank green space once you turn on those green grids, and you can just move that head grid up. You know, you select it, tap on it if you're on Wii U, click on it if you're on PC, and you can just move it up with the arrows. And so now we're going to go with the mecha. I believe we're going to start off with the mecha as the source object for each of these creations. It's very, very good. I like the mecha just because it's a character that has, in Scribblenauts, it has 2 moving parts for the arms, 2 moving parts for the legs, like they're sectioned out. So we're going to go with the T-Rex, the back legs, it's the hind legs, and it's the one in the back. There's like a thigh piece that looks like that shape for the main body right here. And the lower midsection area, that'll be a diaper. And so we're going to be making Rockstar Foxy, if you didn't notice just by the color alone. And we got a golem thigh piece coming up for the thighs. This time we're going to make them a little bit less thick because Rockstar Freddy was straight up thick. I don't know why I'm saying this. That sounds so stupid. And so anyway, we got the thighs down there and we'll go with an egg. And so the egg can actually be, again, there's a number of things we're going to do. I'm probably going to vary it up for each character, maybe repeat once or twice. But anyway, this is just for what some people don't like, and then I hope some people do like, because I do like it. But it's the colored section for their knees. You know how their knees are kind of colored, usually with their rosy cheeks, or, you know, they have like 2 separate kind of color schemes. Although Foxy's is pretty close here for Rockstar Foxy. A Pachycephalosaurus, you probably saw how to spell it on screen. Looks kind of like Pachycephalosaurus. We took that back thigh piece of that dinosaur and put that as the belly of Rockstar Foxy. And this time we used a starfish for that star. So notice, of course, the difference between if you do a star from space or the starfish right here. And a Plesiosaurus, I took a part of the neck piece, kind of thin and long piece, I guess, that we could use for the lower, basically where the shins are. And of course, Rockstar Foxy's got a peg leg this time. And so we'll go with, actually, for the foot that's to our left, we're gonna go, it's his right, but we'll go with the T-Rex thigh piece once again for that. And the ghoul fin we're gonna use, and this time we're actually probably gonna have enough stamps because this one's actually gonna be a 3-part creation. We're gonna do the parrot entirely separate. So if you notice that I only had 3 toes on the Rockstar Freddy, Freddy, there's a reason. We ran out of stamp space. I wish we could have included it, but we ran out. You have to pick and choose. Like, what do you want to put down the extra toe in lieu of something else? For instance, here with Rockstar Foxy, we can have 4 toes because I used a golem shoulder piece. Hemisphere is going to be for the actual shoulders right here on Rockstar Foxy, and most of the characters that we do today. A Megalania, the front leg, and the one that's in the front, there's like an upper leg part, thigh piece, I guess, where it connects to the body and everything. That's the piece that we're actually using just before the hook hand as well as on the other hand, and it's also for the other leg, so the leg that's to our right and kind of that shin area before the peg leg part. Now, if you don't like how the hand looked, like if you thought it looked kind of stiff as a board, well, you can also use a receiver glove, and the receiver glove I've seen kind of makes another good hand shape. Of course, it's going to have a little bit of design and texture in it, so you will have to not mind those patterns. So we're going with the Tooth Fairy, the female Tooth Fairy, and that's going to start us off here after we got a hook for the hand, the hook hand. You can also use your Rumi for that. You've seen me use that in other creations, especially with Foxy. And then a Spinosaurus we typed in after that, and we can take the tail, the final back tail piece of that, and that's going to be for the peg leg. So that Tooth Fairy arm combined with the Spinosaurus tail piece, that's what gets it for us right there. The letter I we can use now, that's going to be for the neck. The stamp limit's going to be reached after we take another letter I that's connected to the shoulder and the back right there, because that's where the parrot is going to go. We're going to make the parrot be a glue, so again, that's all going to be just a separate object. But just to reiterate, I feel I need to mention this because people still comment if I mean, even when I do mention it, it's just I'm trying to cover all bases. Again, this game does have a stamp limit. A stamp is anything that you put on your creation to make your object overall. So that means that for some of these creations, they might not have enough fingers, or they might not have the accurate amount of toes compared to their real life game counterparts or whatever. That's okay. You got to create how you can in Scribblenauts, and you're working kind of within the confines of this game. I feel the game is really powerful, but at the same time, it does have those limits, which honestly probably shouldn't be there, but sometimes I kind of like it because it's like, hey, we're meeting it within the challenge of this game. It's like we're kind of doing our own creation challenge here. Head is the source object because we are going to create Rockstar Foxy's head, obviously now. Hammerhead shark, we can take the fin of that, the side fin, I guess, and a worm. We're going to go with the worm's middle body piece right there. This is a good stamp for noses, especially with like Foxy, Freddy, various characters and whatnot. Freckles again down there, kind of back behind the worm body there that we painted black. A seed, I typed in seed, and we're going to make that be for the ear that's on this side, and actually to make it, I guess, have a little bit of perspective here, some depth, and looking at Rockstar Foxy from, well, I guess it's like a quarter turn view, we can go with this dolphin fin. Now, if you notice, you just put your stylus or your mouse, if you're on PC, right underneath the dolphin's head. You really can't see this fin. So you could be asking me, why aren't you just grabbing the fin that you can see on the side of his body? And that's because it has this little black dot in it that I wanted to eliminate. I didn't want that to be there. Just kind of like this golem shoulder piece. You could do the other golem shoulder piece that's a little bit more visible, or you could do the one in the back to get rid of that black dot on it. A lot of Scribblenauts characters have like a black dot that looks sort of like a brad, or it like connects kind of the joints and the moving pieces of the characters. Not on everything, but just a lot of the moving, I guess, animate objects. And so we got a spider fish, that bottom fin of the spider fish, that can be for the eyebrows right there. Looking good so far. We still have a ways to go. A monster, we can actually type that in and take the back thigh piece, so that back leg upper part, that we can paint all the way black, and it's a good eye patch piece right there. And so we'll go with an octopus next, and there's this one tentacle right here that's mostly straight, but it does have a slight bend at the very end of it. We're going to use that for the strap on the eye patch, and grass can be his hair. That's a nice stamp to get his hair right there, so move that all behind everything. Of course, that dolphin fin, I mean, you probably don't even need me to mention it, but that was the other ear again, and it was creating the, I guess, viewpoint that it's a little bit sideways from us. So I kind of like that. I kind of like having that view perspective on it. And a hemisphere combined with 2 warts. So the wart is going to be for the iris, whereas the hemisphere, and the pupil I should say, and the hemisphere is for that eyelid of above that, and the golem shoulder piece is all white there for the white of his eye, and we're actually going to use a pimple then after that for Rockstar Foxy to have a little bit of detail within the eye, like a shine, a shimmer. And so we'll go with a shambler, that back arm up kind of near the top, and just move it over, rotate it a little bit like this, and move it behind everything right here. It's going to be the bottom jaw piece. So we'll go with Irish moss. Again, I would love to, if we had enough stamps, I would love to just do every individual tooth and make them really detailed and more sharp and everything like that. But Irish moss is going to be a stamp that we can use twice for 2 layers of teeth, because this last little tooth we can only do one, because here's the stamp limit actually reached. I wanted to do a few more, but we can do one golden tooth right here to just let you guys know I didn't forget it. We have a fingernail as the basically the golden tooth here. Again, I would have loved to do some more of them, but we can't. Not enough stamps. So if you want to get rid of something else, like another design feature, then you could do that in lieu of putting some more golden teeth maybe. Again, can be worn on the face like glasses. This is just a reminder on the equipment tab to do that under the properties editor. So of course, right now we can show you just once again what that looks like when you basically put the head object, your head creation, put it into the hands of the body object, so act like you're giving it to it, and then most of the time it's going to be off. So like for instance, this Rockstar Foxy also had a super low head, like the head was almost at the chest basically. So we just turn on those green grids and move that head up with these arrows on the left side, kind of bottom left near that area, and we can move on of course from there and make the parrot. I'm just going to call it Rockstar Parrot here. So notice we've got a lot of it done, but we want to include of course the feather on the head. So that's the seahorse that we just typed in right there. That's going to be for that. Now we started off with the glue as the source object, and so with this, that end seahorse tail piece, it's going to be for the head feather, but when you're moving it up, you're probably going to notice that you can't move it past a certain point. So a glue is a pretty small surface area. It's a pretty small stamp in this game. So basically you first just attach that stamp like this, for instance, this spider fish, as it's going to be an eyebrow right here. You attach it to the glue or kind of nearby, and then you move it up with the arrows, but notice it may only go to a certain point. So to get past that, you would just increase the size and then move it up to where you need it to be, or move it wherever, and then you can decrease the size back to normal right after that. So then though, if you try to move it after it's at the correct size, kind of the smaller size, then it will actually move the object. It'll jump kind of all the way back down. So you can't move it unless you increase its size hugely again. So a thorn bug was for the beak. That tooth fairy arm piece was for the bottom part of the beak. We had a golem thigh piece for the belly and the main body part. Pool girl arm, the back arm is for the wings. A P for the black eye patch with the same octopus tentacle piece to be the straps. Pearl was the head, and you saw mostly everything else. And so here we got Rockstar Chica. Of course, notice it's very similar to our other creations. We can have that manta ray piece, that fin piece as the lower torso area. Now, we do have the maracas in her hands. We are scripting our other characters to kind of, if they're not holding an instrument all the time, like via the creation like this, we are scripting it to where they will use whatever their instrument is. Like our Rockstar Foxy, of course, was scripted to use an accordion, although it was some general like musical instruments category. So we have 2 clown noses for the hands here. We used an amber this time as the knees, those colors on the knees. It's almost like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, how they have like knee pads or whatever, colored knee pads. So that's what we did for that. The maracas were made with a golden egg with a little color pattern on them, a texture pattern. Same texture pattern I believe we used for that plastic, which is the bib. Of course, she's got that bib. It says "Let's Rock" in the game, but of course we can't fit that on here because of stamp space. Also, you probably couldn't shrink the letter small enough to get it, even if you did have the stamps. And we used a drumstick as the stick for the maracas. Now, we only have a stick on one of those maracas, and so you can actually see that backhand maraca, it's not going to have a stick attached to it or whatever behind it. And that's okay, because we really can't see it most of the time, if at any time, basically. So notice here we're actually going to go with 2 creations at once. This will kind of save us some time, but since these are all just so very similar to each other, we can actually make the Rockstar Bonnie down there in the bottom right, and we can make Lefty out of the Rockstar Freddy. So you can just copy that Rockstar Freddy creation from before, that body creation, and really just color things differently and move the microphone, like basically swap the hands, because Lefty is a lefty, so he's holding the mic in his left hand instead. So we are going to move that. And with the Rockstar Bonnie, it's all going to be mostly the same, although we used a goldfish bottom fin for the knee coloration right there for that, for Rockstar Bonnie's knees, and we're gonna go with sticky hand twice. So this is again just to show you another stamp combination that you can use for hands. We've done a receiver glove, we've done hand for the hands, we've done sticky hand for the hands, and star or starfish. So of course we're gonna put down the stars from space. Down there's going to be 2 of them on the Rockstar Bonnie, so it looks good. We're going to do some light scripting for all of these. Of course, Rockstar Bonnie should use guitars, but you can't really type in guitar or guitars. It comes up with a lot of general categories when you're in the behavior tab like that, so we just did string instruments. And so here we can actually create the heads of 2 of these characters as well. Rockstar Chica was missing a head, so let's do that in the top left corner, and then Rockstar Bonnie in the bottom right corner right there. So again, using a lot of the same principles, that Rockstar Chica is going to have those head feathers, I guess, as the seahorse end tailpiece. The Rockstar Bonnie's going with a lot of the stuff that the Rockstar Freddy had, golf balls for the eyes, things of that nature. I know our Rockstar Chica is going to have the mahi-mahi. It's a fish. It's going to have the fin of the mahi-mahi, that side fin basically for the eyebrows up there. And again, if you see anything that's not included on here, it's because of stamp space. You know, I'm aware of what these characters look like. I've always got like a Google image that I look at as I'm creating these. So of course on Rockstar Bonnie's got to have those ears. We have a troglodyte back arm for the base bottom part of the ears, and then the ears are divided, and the ears are going to be a 2-part thing. So they also have the dolphin fin for the top piece, and we're going to go with a lioness, the back tail piece of the lioness. That'll be sort of the inner ear for the top part on those ears. Rockstar Chica with schnitzel as the beak, not only the top part but the bottom part as well. So we did schnitzel actually 3 times because there's also a completely all black schnitzel there for the inner part of the mouth. Grills, those are going to be for the teeth of these characters. Of course, Rockstar Bonnie also has the 2 buck teeth. A good stamp that we can do to just have like 1 stamp for 2 teeth is pill. If you type in pill, paint them both white, both pieces of it, and that pill can be good for the top buck teeth of Rockstar Bonnie. Golf ball cheeks, and on Rockstar Chica, it'll be pearl cheeks. Really shiny cheeks for the Rockstar Chica. And interestingly enough, on the Rockstar Bonnie, we can actually include some of the poles in between, basically the top and bottom jaws. With that, we can do an eraser. So the eraser is a stamp that can be colored with 3 different parts. So there's a middle part that we can color all the way black, so it's just like part of the mouth again. But then the 2 side pieces of the eraser, we can do with that metallic-y color to make them be those poles holding up those jaw pieces. Pretty good here. Of course, you can use kind of any of these back arm shapes that we've been using for the lipstick there on Rockstar Chica. So I just did a vegetarian back arm as the top lip, and then a beauty's back arm, the female beauty. We did that for the bottom lipstick lip. And of course, as a reminder, in the properties editor for your head object, make sure under the equipment tab, you just do that second circle from the bottom, fill that in. It says can be worn on the face like glasses, and that'll do it. So of course, finally, we got to get a head for Lefty. Now Lefty, of course, has one of his eyes just, I guess it's missing. And so you can see that there is an eye on right now, but we're going with a road hump to start out with because he is going to have this eyelid sort of going over his eyes. I just basically took our Rockstar Freddy's head and copied that as well. So just like we did with the body, you know, we're just going to copy it and recolor. So that's why you can see we've mostly recolored it. The cheeks need to be colored a little bit differently after we reach the stamp limit here with this last road hump, because we also used a golf ball. That's not only just the white of the eyes, but we can make it for that little black missing eye right there, that eye hole or eye piece for the eye. That's to our right, but that's Lefty's left eye is missing right there. And so looking good here as we pile on through. So of course we also need to color his eye a different color. So with that, I'll move this P pupil out of the way and then move it back there after coloring it kind of orangish. And the cheeks, of course, as well. So that's good. All right, now you can see them all here on the field. This is awesome, looking at them all on the map. And so, of course, Rockstar Foxy all the way to the left side with his little parrot on his shoulder, of course, being that it's a glue as the source object. We just glue it to that shoulder piece. Now, that does make it go in front of the head. So if you wonder why his head is not in front, the glue always goes in front whenever you glue something. So then Rockstar Freddy next to him, and then as we keep on going left, Rockstar Chica and Rockstar Bonnie, and then Lefty all the way off to our left side. It just works. But if you guys like videos like these, there's plenty of Five Nights at Freddy's content on this channel, so I hope you enjoy that. Feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified when I upload, but I do upload every Sunday, sometimes more. Vote down in the comments section for what you want to see next. Most popular, most requested is what gets created, and I will catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.
Down the road of twists and turns, always anxious to see what's within. We can look ahead to the point of no return, to the rest of our lives as the spectacle begins. I've been down the road